Mark of Horror here with Hugsy and Viola. Viola, say hi to Hugsy. And sometimes you can't find everything you want at McKay's or at the pawn shops or at the thrift shops, and sometimes you have to shell out for some films via mail order, that's an old-fashioned term, via the internet, of course. I've ordered this box of things from SecondSpin.com. They're very reliable in terms of having what I need and sending it and being cheap. They're always running a sale. I would say never order if they're not running a sale, but they are always running a sale. So just make sure they have a sale that's applicable to you. They go from 20 to 30% off your entire purchase, or buy one get one half off, and so on, or spend a certain amount and get a certain percentage off. Their DVDs often come in scratched, just like you would find at the pawn shop or the thrift shop. So definitely check them, and if you need pristine DVDs, I wouldn't even bother ordering from them. But for the most part, their Blu-rays come in pretty pristine. People seem to have taken care of them, just because they haven't been out as long, I would suppose. But often they'll have a much better price than Amazon. And just as often they'll have a much worse price than Amazon. So do your homework. Here's what I got to fill in some holes around here.
That's what she said!
I got the King of Horror, upgrading the original Salem's Lot series to Blu-ray, and also has a Shining Blu-ray and the original mini-series of It Blu-ray and Cat's Eye Blu-ray. So I actually will get to replace a few Blu-rays and probably take them to McKay's. Bless the Child with Kim Basinger. It was one of the top horror movies of its year. Anacondas 2. I confess I got this because I got Anacondas 1 and 3, and there was some problem with me that I had to get number 2 to fill in that hole. Hush behind the camera. Jennifer Lopez in The Cell, a very stylish thriller, featuring Vincent D'Onofrio against type as a villain, a serial killer even. Well, okay, so maybe not against type. Maybe he gets a lot of these roles, and Vince Vaughn is also in this one. Death Becomes Her, where Meryl Streep gets to act opposite Goldie Hawn. So that makes a very interesting matchup. Bruce Willis is in this, but he's just he seems to me to be like a MacGuffin. He's just a guy who's caught in between. This is really the story of Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep battling it out, with a great guest appearance by Isabella Rossellini. I got Cutting Class. Brad Pitt is really not in that much of this to put him on the cover. He is in it, and it's not just a cameo, a look away. You'll actually notice that he is in it a fair amount. But no, he doesn't really deserve the cover here. But it's always nice to see someone before they become a star. The Horror of Hammer. This one is a DVD compilation of trailers from Hammer that I look forward to watching. I'm hopeful that they're not public domain quality and that they're actually watchable, for example. But I'll find out, and it wasn't all that much. Vincent Price that I didn't have. Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine. And so they didn't have Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs, so I just have this one right now, but I'll keep my eye out for the other one. I have pretty much all the other Vincent Price films. The Man with Nine Lives, Boris Karloff film that I was missing. Looking forward to watching this. The Signal, which is an absolutely fascinating production. 3 different directors handle 3 different segments of the same movie, but it's all the same storyline. It's one continuous story. It's not that they have 3 separate stories. They're filmed in a completely different style. And if I recall correctly, the first one is scary and the third one is hilarious, and they're really, really good, and the second one bogs down. But I may have which one was which mixed up, because I haven't seen this in many years. But great film if you get the chance. The Doctor and the Devils, starring Timothy Dalton, Jonathan Pryce, and Twiggy. But it also has a small role for Patrick Stewart. And it's about grave robbers supplying doctors back in the 1800s, which, of course, the great Body Snatcher with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff told that story. And I believe also The Flesh and the Fiends with Peter Cushing tells that same story. 4-movie collection: Return of the Vampire, Revenge of Frankenstein, Mr. Sardonicus, and The Brotherhood of Satan. Strangely, I didn't have Return of the Vampire with Bela Lugosi, which is why I got this. I already have the other 3, so I'll have to see if there's some duplication that I can send to McKay's for some credit. Ray Milland in X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes. This one is a fun one. Ray Milland had a brief sort of career. Somebody's put science fiction stickers on here. Had a brief career in horror. I think my favorite of his is Panic in the Year Zero. Hey, Miss Chupacabra. Double feature, a Vincent Price double feature, Theater of Blood and Madhouse. I have all 3 of the absolutely wonderful collector sets that Scream Factory put out on Blu-ray, including the first one is out of print and goes for outrageous prices now. But you should pick up number 2 and number 3 when you can. I already have Madhouse on Blu-ray, but Theater of Blood was not in any of the 3 sets. So, Theater of Blood is one of his best films. The Black Scorpion. This is available on Blu-ray, but the DVD was much cheaper. It was $5 before the discount, before the sale discount. So I picked it up on DVD. It features some excellent Willis O'Brien stop-motion photography, but unfortunately they didn't trust their stop-motion photography, so there's also some stock footage of scorpions which does not look as good. They did that absolute same mistake when they did the new Thing in, I want to say 2011, but they got some wonderful, wonderful practical effects in that movie, and they didn't trust it or didn't finish it up, and so they CGI'd a bunch of the other effects which look awful, so you have a real mixed bag. Same with this, but you'll find it charming. Killer Bees. I've never seen this. I ordered it used for a couple of dollars from SecondSpin, and it arrived, I've opened it, but it arrived sealed. Nobody had even opened it. It was listed as used, but it was a brand new copy, and I got it because I'm planning on doing a video on bee movies. So I'm looking forward to watching this later. I'm looking forward to watching everything later. There is never enough time to watch these. Night of the Creeps, Director's Cut. I picked this up because it was under $10 on Blu-ray. Scream Factory is making their own collector's edition, and I didn't want to pay. Scream Factory is just getting too expensive. They're $25 to $30 a pop, which means you can afford to buy what you really want, but you just can't buy all of their releases because they price themselves out of the market. That said, Scream Factory, if you go look on the website, they do have a special release of Night of the Creeps with a Tom Atkinson doll, and that is kind of the tchotchke that you want to have because you're never going to find another Tom Atkinson doll. And I do love Tom Atkinson, but they want too much for it. It's $70 for the Blu-ray and the Tom Atkinson doll. Anyway, I picked up Sinister 2 to go with Sinister 1. I just can't resist series, even though they go downhill pretty quickly. But the Blu-ray was reasonably priced. Michael J. Fox and the Frighteners, Peter Jackson film. I picked this one up on Blu-ray, but Peter Jackson's early horror movies have been remastered, and I'm waiting for those to come out on Blu-ray or perhaps even 4K, since that's how they're being remastered. But just waiting on an announcement on that. And then I picked up Silent Night, Deadly Night 3-disc set. And while you may think that this contains Silent Night, Deadly Night, it doesn't. It's a 3-disc set of the forgotten sequels. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5. 3 is Better Watch Out, 4 is Initiation, and 5 is The Toy Maker with Mickey Rooney as the Toy Maker. Surprise. And then the last thing I picked up was Fox Horror Classics box set, and this is another one I ordered used, and it arrived factory sealed from SecondSpin. You pay your money and you take your chances with SecondSpin. Some of the DVD discs, like I mentioned, do end up scratched, and you can return them. I never have, because I've never gotten an unplayable one. But if scratches are really important to you, probably you don't want to order DVDs from SecondSpin. But their prices can be really, really compelling. And the 3 here are the Lodger with Laird Kreger, who's kind of a forgotten movie villain, movie actor who typically played villains. Hangover Square, which Laird Kreger is also in, and The Undying Monster. And they come in a nice slipcase with a booklet. Only the independents now include booklets with their movies. Hangover Square, The Undying Monster, and The Lodger. And The Lodger, of course, is a remake of an old Alfred Hitchcock film. But it's a lot of fun, and that was my haul from SecondSpin.com. I highly recommend them. Check them out. Make sure you buy your stuff on sale, and please click subscribe, like, or even comment below. Tell me your experience with SecondSpin. Thank you.